So, one of the few things that has helped me tremendously over the years to cope with my anxiety, number one would be learning the why. And I feel like a lot of people don't really ask themselves why you have anxiety in the first place, why you got depression in the first place. And I feel like that's a big important thing to understand the why. And I'm gonna give you a little backstory real quick because I don't want to make the whole video about that, but I'm gonna give you my side of things. So, from what I remember in 2023, when I had a talk with my sister, my older sister actually, and we talked about our traumas, I was showing symptoms even as a kid. I remember wetting the bed a lot continuously till I was probably like 7 years old. That's when I stopped wetting the bed, and that's not typically normal for a kid to do. And I know for a fact that it had to do with my traumas. Now I'm gonna give you a little backstory. Like I said, so we grew up in a very toxic household, my siblings and I. Unfortunately, we seen things that we weren't supposed to see when we were kids. Very traumatic. My parents, well, my dad, he had a drinking problem, and he would also beat my mom a few times. I don't know if I could say certain things here on YouTube. They didn't have the best relationship, my parents. So there was a lot of things that we witnessed as kids, and it was pretty traumatic. I remember the first day of school, and like my first day of kindergarten, I peed myself, and thankfully I had a best friend of mine who was my neighbor, and she took care of me. We were in the bathroom the whole entire day, and I remember crying because I had peed myself, and I was crying, and yeah, she was there for me. We were there all day waiting to get picked up by my sister. And I remember my teacher had actually called my sister that I was missing, that I was absent that day. So my sister rushed to the school. She ended up finding out that I basically had peed myself, that I was in the restroom all day. So yeah, I obviously, my sister was not a doctor, so at that time she was 18 years old. She didn't know what had happened. I think not 18, I think she was probably like 17 or 18, one of those. And one of my first anxiety attacks that I remember getting was when I was 6 years old, when we were having movie night in my school. And I just remember I could not control my breathing. I remember I thought I was gonna die, and I cried continuously. Like, I could not stop crying. My teacher, he actually came and hugged me and asked me what was wrong, and I told him that I was afraid that my parents were gonna die, and I was panicking. So that was the first sign, right? Like, I didn't even think of it as an anxiety attack. I don't know if that's even an anxiety attack, but in that moment I remember feeling those feelings. Now that I'm older, it kind of seems to me like I was having an anxiety attack, because I was always so nervous as a kid, always biting my nails, always nervous about everything. I was very scared. I've always been scared of literally anything. I realized that it has a lot to do with your childhood, why you have anxiety in the first place. Again, this is not for everyone, but I'm telling you my experience. When I started thinking about the why, it led me to that. And another symptom that I had, which, I realized that it was my traumas, was when I was having this continuous dream. I had it till I was 13 years old. That was the last time that I remembering having that dream, when I was 13. I remember I hated going to sleep when I was younger. That's why I would pee my bed when I was younger, because and this is something that I had told my sister in 2023, when we actually had a deep conversation about our traumas, our upbringing, like our childhood. She remembers more things than I do. And so when I was telling her about how I didn't understand why I was doing certain things, acting a certain way when I was younger, And then I just started crying because I realized something that, it was hard for me a little bit. It's hard for me to talk about a little bit, even now. But I'm gonna tell you just a dream that I kept having when I was younger. One dream that I kept having when I was younger was my mom taking me to this man's house, and he was very skinny, long fingers. His skin was like an olive green. He had yellow eyes, and he always had this smirk on his face that would scare the hell out of me. But every single time when I was in that dream, I remember having that feeling that I was there, and all of a sudden it would be quiet. Nothing. I could not hear anything, not even my mom. And she would grab me, hold my hand, and take me to this man's house. And then I remember not having a mouth, and she would leave me at this man's house. And I remember I could not scream. I couldn't talk, I couldn't scream, and I was so afraid of going to this man's house. Never really took the time to understand my dream till basically now, like in 2023, that this is when I started to realize a lot of things about my childhood. And for the first time, I cried. Not making fun of myself, but I actually let myself cry and feel everything that I just didn't understand back then, but now I do. And yeah, I remember having so much anxiety in that dream, feeling like I couldn't talk. And I remember waking up from that dream and I would like, oh my god, it felt so real, and I would wake up so anxious. That happened from when I was, as long as I can remember. I can't give you a number because honestly I don't remember when I started having those dreams. I just remember I was very young. That was when I was weighing my bed still, and till I was 13 years old. When I studied that dream, like putting two and two together, why I was peeing my bed, why I had anxiety, why I was acting a certain way at such a young age, me having that reoccurring dream, that nightmare basically, it all led me to certain things. Like, as you can imagine what happened, that was something a hard pill to swallow, because it's understandable why I can't watch certain things on TV. I didn't understand why they triggered me so much, but now understanding that, it's like, okay, I kind of just, it triggers, I'll still watch it, but I start feeling kind of like I can't breathe. Like my breathing is just like I feel so uncomfortable. Understanding your why, okay? And sorry, I had to tell you a little bit of my story so that you can understand and make you understand maybe why you have anxiety in the first place. Number 2 is avoiding TV shows, movies that have certain things that can trigger your anxiety. I try to avoid horror movies. I used to love horror movies, but as I got older, I just feel like I don't like the way that it leaves you. I don't love the messages that it leaves you. I like watching movies that literally gives me like a message, something important that will leave me like, wow. Even Marvel movies, I find them more that way than horror movies. I tend to go more for rom-com movies, the cringiest movies. I love those movies. Funny movies, things are gonna make me feel better. Same thing with music. I used to be a person that if I was depressed, sad, I was going through a breakup, I would listen to sad music. And it's so crazy because it's like you get so used to feeling sad that you want to be even more sad, which is bad for you. You don't want to be sad, you want to get happy. So if I'm ever sad, I'll listen to happy music, and honestly that makes a huge difference. So another thing that is really important, try to avoid scrolling. I feel like we all scroll, and trust me, I've done that plenty of times, but I've deleted my Instagram, I've deleted my Twitter, because of how bad my anxiety was getting again. Whenever I feel like anxiety is getting to me, I let go of my phone and I start focusing more on the things that are important to me, and which is my kids. Limiting your screen time will help you tremendously. After deleting my social media, it has helped me not only on my anxiety, but it has also helped me with focusing on the career path that I want to do, which is YouTube. I've been more consistent than ever. I've been posting 2 videos a week. Yeah, I've just been so excited to post and like make content. That was honestly such a big thing for me. My son, like, he gets into like wanting to just be on his phone. After he gets out of school, he'll get on his phone, and I remember he would get so sensitive sometimes, and I would get upset, and I was like, okay, you're not allowed to be on your phone, because every single time that you're on your phone for so long, you start getting more sensitive, like more irritated, and his mood changes. And I realized that mine too, like mine does too. Like if I'm on my phone constantly just scrolling on dumb things, I start feeling more anxious. My mood just changes so quickly than when I'm just on my phone. So now all I have is YouTube and I have TikTok, but I use TikTok more for like for learning something. That's basically what I use TikTok for. Another thing that can help you with your anxiety is getting some sunlight, and like literally going outside. You have no idea how important it is to get some sunlight. Going outside, even if it's for 30 minutes or 15 minutes even, will change you. I promise you. Go to your backyard or go outside your front yard, it doesn't matter, but just go outside for a few minutes, touch some grass, and let me tell you, it helps, okay? Especially those hot girl walks or whatever it is, like, do it. Trust me, it will help you. Going to the gym, just being active will help reduce your anxiety, because when you're stuck at home all day, your anxiety will get triggered. I'm telling you, I start feeling more anxious. I don't even want to go outside anymore. I don't want to do anything anymore. And trust me, like, having that me not having that schedule of going to the gym at 4:50 in the morning, like waking up at 4:50, going to the gym at 5, has helped me so much, and it works. Being active works. Then rather than being stuck at home, it's not gonna do you any good. Anxiety can be avoidable. It's all in your head. It can be avoidable. I used to be a person that would drink coffee all day sometimes. In the morning, in the afternoon, and then at night. And that was so bad for my health. If anything, right now, I'm trying to switch over to matcha, because I feel like recently I got a really bad anxiety attack because I was stressed out about paying my bills, that my body I just felt like it shut down, and I just started crying, and I felt like my heart was skipping a beat, literally, that it was skipping a beat. And I cried so much. I got a phone call from my dad, who I haven't spoken to in many years. And yeah, it was just, that's when I felt it, and I started feeling super anxious that caffeine was just not helping me at all. And that day I did drink 2 cups of coffee, which is normal for me, because I used to do so many, like probably like 4 cups of coffee a day. I wouldn't suggest drinking pre-workouts either, because I have a story of me taking a pre-workout that was just horrible. It led me to go to the ER in that month 3 times. I ended up in the ER 3 times that month, and I couldn't get out of my house. I remember calling my mom. The first attack, the real bad anxiety attack I got, I thought I was gonna die. Unfortunately, my son had to see me go through that. He was only 3 years old, and I think that was the only thing that was like calming me down was my son. I was holding him, and I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, can you please take me to the hospital right now? She's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I feel like I can't breathe, I feel like I'm dying. Can you please come and pick me up? She got on her way. We were on the phone the whole time that she was on her way to me. She took she took me to the ER, and basically they said that there was nothing wrong with me, which it helped in the moment, but I was back to square one the next day. I felt like I couldn't breathe, I couldn't, and I ended up going to the ER again. A week later, I ended up going to the ER again, and they were telling me again that there was nothing wrong with me. And so I realized that, well, not now, but in 2016, yeah, pre-workouts are not for me. Caffeine is just not for me. I still drink coffee because I love the taste of it, but I try to stay away from caffeine as much as possible, like sodas, Red Bulls, those energy drinks, because the only energy drink I drink is coffee, but that's basically it. My body cannot handle caffeine. Also, I'm only 5 feet tall, so maybe that has to do with it, but also I feel like it just triggers my anxiety. It's been with me since my childhood, so I would suggest staying away from it. One thing that I would recommend for you to have is people around you. People around you, just having someone to talk to about what's going on in your head, someone that's able to understand, will make a huge difference. What helps me whenever I'm going through an anxiety attack too is honestly just physical touch with someone. And that to me is my partner, like my boyfriend. He knows when I'm having an anxiety attack. Mine's look like basically I can't talk. Like I'm just like this and I'm scratching my neck. I'm rubbing my legs a lot and I'm just trying to focus on my breathing. So now what he does is he holds my hand or he hugs me, which is something so important because my boyfriend asked me, he's like, how can I help you whenever you have anxiety? So I told him that, like I don't like loud music when I'm having an anxiety attack. I just love the physical touch. It helps me. And so everyone can be different, but you can try these things and trust me, it will make a huge difference because anxiety comes and goes. And mine hasn't fully gone away, but it doesn't come as often anymore. Back then it did, but now I am proud to say that I don't let my anxiety get the best of me. I don't allow it to ruin my day anymore. Sometimes I grab anxiety by the hand and I have to go outside and go to the gym and take her with me. I don't know. But back then, all I would do is just go in my room and start crying and just being stuck in there and letting anxiety take over me. Learning how to cope with things, because let's face it, a lot of times we might not truly fully heal, but you just learn how to cope with things better. Lack of sleep can be very beneficial for our bodies. It is beneficial for our bodies. Whenever I don't get 8 hours of sleep, I am so cranky. I don't want to talk to anybody. If I don't get my 8 hours of sleep, I will feel a little anxious throughout the day. And that's just what it is. I feel like if I'm hungover, so trying to get those 8 hours of sleep, trust me, it will make a huge difference. Sleep is so important that sometimes we forget to rest, but especially when you're stressed out, just rest. Go to sleep. It's okay to go to sleep sometimes. It's okay to give your body that time to relax and take some magnesium. Sometimes, another thing that I should have mentioned this too. If you are someone who suffers from anxiety, take magnesium. Trust me. Trust me. The reason why a lot of us have anxiety as well is from the lack of magnesium. Magnesium is so important, and that's all I'm gonna say. Magnesium. Take your magnesium. Trust me. We need magnesium. You can look it up. Any doctor will tell you that. You will get much better sleep with magnesium as well. Muscle recovery. And yeah, Oh, another thing that has helped with my anxiety as well is doing the carrot juice detox every single month. I can talk about it in another video if anyone's interested, but that is one of the things that I just love doing. It's so beneficial for you to detox at least once a month. Yeah, honestly, look it up. It's called Cinco por Cinco by Ludwig Johnson, Dr. Ludwig Johnson, and it's a parasite detox. The reason why we feel super anxious during the full moon is because of parasites. Parasites can cause anxiety, depression, and many other illnesses, cancer, etc. Like, I'm telling you, it is proven to work. It has helped me tremendously. So yeah, I can make another video about that if you guys are interested. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope this video helped you, and you're not alone, and this does not define you. Anxiety does not define you. Your traumas don't define you. All that matters is how you handle situations, how you handle yourself, how you cope with things is what truly matters, because those things don't define you, okay? Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.